What is going on, everyone? It's Sean with another Tesla video, and in this one I'm going to be reviewing the Model X 100D. We're going to cover three aspects: one, the interior; two, the exterior; and three, the performance. So let's dive in. So one of the first things that you notice when you sit in the driver's seat is this massive windshield. Take a look. This is my perspective from the driver's seat, and as I pan up, the windshield doesn't stop there, but it keeps going and going and going and going until it's literally above your head. Now, what makes this really special is that you have almost an unlimited view as you're driving. You can see frontwards, you can see upwards. You feel like you're in a helicopter cockpit because of the massive view that you've got. Now, there is a downside to this. When you're driving and it's sunny outside, the light, there's very few things that can actually block the sunlight. My daughter's right here. Say hello. Say hello. Solveig, say hello. Hello. So one of the things that really I think is a disadvantage of this massive windshield is if the sun is out, there's very few things that can actually block the sun. I'll tell you what I mean. So this is the sun visor, and what you do is you kind of move this forward and it clicks like that. It's magnetic. And if you can see how small this is, now it does have an extension that kind of folds up. However, the only thing that it blocks is this section here. You still have the rest of this massive windshield. So even though this windshield is incredibly beautiful, there is a downside to it in that it doesn't block a lot of the sunlight. One of the things I know Model X owners are doing is actually getting this tinted even more than it comes from the factory. And so if I was a Model X owner, I would definitely recommend, after you take delivery of the Model X, going to a reputable aftermarket tint shop and having an extra layer of tint on this, and I think that would make a big difference. Now, as far as the dash, it looks almost identical to the Model S. So there's not really much that's different from here. You've got the massive 17-inch touchscreen. You have the binnacle display. The steering wheel is identical. You've got the seats are identical. I do notice actually a minor detail that I really like that my 2013 Model S doesn't have. Now, if it's dark, you do see some underlighting under here, under this armrest. In addition to that, Tesla has added lighting in here as well as here, which I really like a lot. So you know where the door handle is, and for people who haven't been inside of a Tesla, it makes it that much easier to find the door handle and open. What about headroom in the Model X? There's more headroom than in the Model S. So for taller guys like myself, it's even more ideal. Now, I don't have an issue in the front seat in the Model S, but in the back seat as a tall guy, I do find that there's limited headroom. So I'll show you that in just a moment, what it looks like in the second row as a tall person in the Model X. But you can see here, in fact, maybe this is a side view. So you can see here, there's plenty of room, and I'm sitting up straight, I think. Yeah, so there's plenty of room here for even taller people than I am. So let's actually hop to the second row, and we can talk a little bit more about the experience there. Okay. All right. So the one thing you'll notice is that the doors, the entry to get in is just massive. I don't want to show you how easy it is to get a car seat in here, but first let's show off the room. This is the stationary second row, so it's not on the pedestal. In fact, it has the levers here. You can actually pull up and recline the seats. So if you are on a long road trip, you're sitting a little bit less upright and a little bit more leaned back, which I think is really, really cool. So let's set that up again. I do find, let's see if there are multiple positions. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 positions with the chair, the second row chair. As far as headroom goes, I mean, you can see with the Falcon Wing doors up, it actually looks like my head does not fit, but let's go ahead and close this. Okay. And the head fits conveniently in this little skylight that Tesla has added. So, as a tall person, you do have plenty of room. However, if you're sitting in the middle, you do not. I mean, I'm sitting up straight, and my head does not have enough room. As far as leg room and knee room goes, plenty of space. Even if you've got a taller guy in the driver's seat who needs to scoot the seat back, plenty of room here. What else is noteworthy about these doors? Well, first of all, you've got plenty of standing room if for some reason you do want to stand up. So I'm going to stand up here, and I'm standing up all the way. So as you put car seats in or you're getting something, you really don't have to worry about ducking in. Now, for those that have kids, how easy is it to put car seats in? I want to demonstrate that as well. Now this is a Graco 8-position baby seat. You can see it's actually rear facing at the moment, but it does have the ability to be turned around once the baby is old enough. I've just set this in here, and you can see that it is not positioned correctly at the moment. I just set it in, and it is butting up against the chair. So it's good to know that if you do have one of these, that you will likely need to scoot the seat up so that is flush with the chair. Okay, and then you do have the child latch hooks in the seat, which I won't bother with. But now you've got the seat completely flat here. It is on setting 1 for rear facing, and let's see here. So here's forward facing. So if you do have a child that does need to be rear facing, just keep in mind that you will need to scoot the seat, the driver's seat up. So let's just kind of see how much leg room there is. Not too much for me. This feels a little bit uncomfortable. Normally I would scoot that back. So if you do have the option to move this over to the other side and scoot the seat up, that probably is ideal. Now let's take a look at this one here. Okay, so actually before I do that, I want to show you the other position. So now I've turned the seat around. I'm on setting 2 here, which is 20 to 40 pounds, 9.1 kilograms to 18.1. And then rear facing was 4 to 40 pounds and 1.8 kilograms to 18.1. So if you do have a child that is front facing like this, you can see that there's plenty of room here and room to scoot this seat back. Okay, and then let's try 3, setting 3. And even more leg room for the child at setting 3, which is 20 to 70 pounds, 9.1 kilograms to 31.8. So you do get more room as the child gets older, but that rear facing, I do recommend putting it on the other side and then having the ability to scoot that seat forward. Now this is the Graco booster here, and you can see it just kind of sits in there. And this is how much room there is with my 5-year-old daughter. And plenty of leg room, plenty of headroom, of course, but you get a sense for how much this, the second row of this 5-seater that has the stationary, so this does not move forward like the 7-seater does. So let's take a look at the storage in the back with the seats up, and then we'll also take a look at the storage in the back with the seats completely laid flat. Okay, that's clearly detecting the it's clearly detecting the trees, so I'm just going to push this up.
Can I say hi?
To who? Oh, to the camera?
Hi, I'm eating gum. It's so good.
Don't swallow it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so this is the storage for the 5-seater. I would say plenty of room for a stroller. In fact, maybe I should demonstrate that as well. Okay, so I've got a Bob stroller here. This is probably one of the largest strollers on the market. I'll give you a side view of that. So pretty large. Let's see how this fits in. So I think I need 2 hands here. All right, so we're gonna fold this down. Okay, we're gonna put this in right here. And this goes right in there. Plenty of room. There you are. You know what? There's actually enough room to stick an accordion stroller in there. Let's do that as well. All right, so here's the accordion stroller. We're going to fold that up and stick that in as well. Perfect. And there you have it. Plenty of room with 2 different types of strollers in there. One of the cool things with electric cars is that there's kind of a false bottom here, and when you lift that up, you've got even more room in here to put things, miscellaneous things like your charger. Here is, this looks like a snow scraper and brush, but I mean, you could really put anything in here that you wanted, even things that you don't want people to see if they're nosy enough to peer through the windows. In addition to that, this 5-seater also has a secondary false bottom with a little bit more storage, and these 2 actually do kind of coincide and connect. Okay, so let me show you what the storage is like with the seats down. With the stationary 5-seater, you don't have a button to kind of move forward, so you do need to lift this up, and the seat comes down just like that. Same thing for this side. Lift it up and lay it down. All right, so the thing that a lot of people are probably wondering is, can you actually camp in the back of the Tesla? Let's find out. All right, so I think I may have mentioned this before, but I'm 6 foot 1 inches tall, and let's go ahead and crawl in here. Okay, I hope this can hold me. Okay, we are getting in, so we'll try 2 things. How is it laying completely straight? Okay, so my head's kind of fallen off there, so let's scoot down a little bit. Do my feet fit in? No, they don't. They are right at the edge. What I'm gonna have to do is scoot to the side here, angled, and legs fit in easily. So if you're camping with 2 people, you're either going to need to kind of sleep on your side so that you can bend your legs like this to fit in. Or I do believe that there is a company that makes a bed, a mattress, specifically for Teslas. And my understanding is that they are able to cover this open spot here between the seats and give more headroom. Now what about the front trunk? Let's see how much storage there is in there. We're gonna pop the trunk with the remote. Okay, so you can see here I just washed the car, so I need to wipe that down. But you don't have a lot of room, but you do have some room. And again, you can put groceries, small things in there. This is actually the sun visor that you can put in the windshield to block some of that sunlight if you don't want to do tinting. Now I got the question from a handful of viewers actually asking about the visibility. I'm assuming the visibility from the driver's seat, so I'm going to cover that. And by the way, thank you for those questions. I appreciate you submitting those. How is the visibility? Well, the visibility is sort of what you would expect from a Tesla that has a hatchback. In fact, I think any hatchbacks do have limited view out the back window, but as far as the side goes, this window is much bigger than the Model S, so I do like that. And of course, the massive windshield does provide a great view looking forward. And what does it look like out the back? Well, there's a pretty good perspective. Now, this camera is pretty wide angle, but maybe I can show you a view through the actual mirror. Okay, so the angle might be kind of difficult to tell because my hand is in the way, but number one, this thing is really tiny. Here's my hand, and I mean, I've got big hands, but that will give you some perspective as to actually how small this is. And the view out there, I don't know if I can actually, okay, maybe that might work. So the view out the back is pretty limited. Looking over my shoulder, I can see what's out this window, but as I kind of alluded to, because it's a hatchback, you have this whole section here that you can't see, so it's important to rely on the side mirrors to see what's going on. You can also see you can also use the rear-facing camera to help you see as you're driving. It's a little bit non-traditional, but I find that as a Tesla owner, it works just fine. I feel safe. I don't feel like I have any blind spots. In fact, I'd say that this car is better at blind spots, better at showing you those would-be blind spots that another car might have. I feel like I've got a really great view, just as is. Now, a lot of people say that they really want the blind spot detection, but I think these mirrors are long enough, they go far enough out that I can see cars from the rear view mirror, and as they're passing on my left or the right, they come into this mirror. So I don't know if the blind spot detection is really that necessary. Plus, you have autopilot, which does identify and detect cars coming to the left and to the right of you, and of course in front of you. Now let's move to the exterior of the car. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this is a 100D. It was produced in November of 2017, so only 2 months ago. It is the most recent technology that Tesla is using. It's got the Autopilot 2.0 cameras all the way around the car. There's 8 of them, 3 behind the rearview mirror pointing forward. You've got 2 in the front fenders, 2 in the B-pillars, and then 1 in the back, the rear-facing camera. All of that, in addition to ultrasonic sensors, allows for semi, not fully, but semi-autonomous assisted driving, and I find that it's particularly nice on long road trips as well as in traffic, and probably even better, I like it even better when I'm in bumper-to-bumper traffic. The advertised range of the 100D Model X is 295 miles of range. However, when I charged this one up, I did get 298 miles of range showing on the car. Top speed in the Model X is 155 miles per hour, and the 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers is 4.7 seconds. What else does this have? Now, Model X does come standard with air suspension, but it's nice to know that it does have a smooth ride. In fact, when I compare it to my Model S, the air suspension is noticeably smoother. Now, if you're just getting into a Tesla and you don't know any different, you probably wouldn't notice, but for me, coming from a Model S that has coil suspension to the Model X that has air suspension, I do notice a significant difference in ride, the smoothness of the ride. This one also has the cold weather package, so not only do the front seats heat up, but with the winter package or cold weather package, the back seats heat up as well as the steering wheel and the wipers. And I think this is really important for people who live in cold climates. My Model S does not have the cold weather package, and next time around I will definitely get that, because in cold weather I tend to find that the ice cakes up on the wipers and prevents me from cleaning the windshield. So next time around, I will definitely get that. If I'm comparing the ride comfort with the 20-inch wheels, which this one has, versus the 22-inch wheels that I've also driven on the Model X, there's a pretty good difference between the two. The 22s, as you would expect, are a little bit rougher. There's a little bit more road noise, but with these, I barely notice the road noise at all, and the ride is very, very smooth. Now, to answer another question that I got from one of my YouTube subscribers, does this have the 360-degree vision that some other cars have? The answer is no, but Tesla has kind of created their own version of that, and I'll show you what I mean. So right now it's in park, but I'm going to go ahead and put that in reverse. And you can see here, you've got a kind of graphical interface of the back of the Tesla, and then you can see the full one here, and then rear view camera. So let's show you what happens. It does have the parking sensors. So as I get closer to my garage, hopefully I don't like accidentally floor it into the back of my garage. That would be terrible. So it should start to pick up on the proximity. Yep, there it goes. And then it should give me, yep, so it's getting closer. And then it should eventually tell me stop. 34 inches, 32. That's as close as I feel comfortable going, and you can also see it right here. If you get really close, it does kind of say stop before you run into it. All right, one last thing I forgot to mention about the interior is the premium sound system. It is Dolby surround sound. The way that Tesla advertises this is that it's been specifically created for the quiet cabin of the Model X. So let's turn this puppy up. All right, that's a pretty impressive sound system. I'm sold. I really like that the premium sound. It's just very crisp and clean. The bass is insane. It's cool. I do love the push button doors. And this actually took a little while for me to get the hang of. So it's not a push right here, which is sort of what I was intuitively pushing. It's this point right here. You push it and it opens. So do the Falcon Wing doors. Push it and it opens up. One other thing you'll have to be mindful of about these Falcon Wing doors is that if it does detect something, it will not open up all the way. And I just did this, so it didn't open up all the way. I ducked under and was doing some video footage in here, and then walked backwards out. I did hit my head, so just be mindful that if you do if you do have one of these, get one of these, that you'll have to make sure that you do not. And you know, these edges do have a plastic covering over them, but would be pretty painful if you did end up running your head into them. Now, one of the other cool things about this particular model is that it does have the self-presenting doors. So as you walk up to it, it opens, which is particularly nice if you have your hands full. Bother with pushing that button. Super convenient. So the question you're probably thinking is, do I recommend the Model X? Well, I think if you have a family with kids, absolutely. It's a fantastic car if you want to go electric and you don't want to have to worry about range anxiety, and you have the cash to spend on a $100,000 electric vehicle. If you're single or even have a spouse or partner with no kids, I think this might be a little much. Not only is it big, I just think it's a little bit unnecessary to have something like this. If you prefer an SUV or you prefer something that sits higher up, then I suppose regardless of your situation in life, whether you have kids or not, or a partner or not, it probably would be a fantastic vehicle. The all-wheel drive does make it very superior, very dependable, and so sure, why not? If you don't have kids, go for it, and you really want the SUV version of Tesla's electric vehicle, by all means, jump in. I really like it for a couple of reasons. Personally, I like the long range. I like that it's got about 300 miles of range. I like the storage space for all the kids stuff that we have with our 2 kids, all the gear that comes with it, the diaper bags, the strollers. And I like that in comparison to my Model S, there's just a lot more room back there for the kids and really easy to get the car seats in. I definitely recommend it. My wife wants one after having this Model X for a couple of days. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and if I missed something that you wanted me to cover, feel free and put it in the comments. And if you are in the market for a new or inventory S or X, please use my referral code down in the video description. That's it for this Model X review, and see you on the next one.